So I went on a date with this girl. I went maybe 6 or 7 dates with her, and I took her out to one of those tasting menu restaurants. You know, those fancy restaurants, Michelin star thing where there's like 11 or 12 courses. This is a good move for any young fella out there who wants to take a girl out. Take him to a tasting menu, because if you're like me, I eat my food too quick, and then I got to sit there and watch them try to, you know. And I think, how much of that am I going to get to eat, you know? And if you go to a tasting menu, the brilliant thing about going to a fancy restaurant is that the conversation never stops. Because there's so many courses that you can go, I like that course. I didn't like course number 3, but I enjoyed 7. So I wonder what's up next. It's a good way of keeping things going. Now, I tried to do this routine in Kansas. Very hard to explain what a really good meal's like. They couldn't wrap their brain around it. I was like, you know when you go to one of those really fancy restaurants? And I went, think about the best meal you've ever had. And then one guy yells out, ribs! And I was like, yeah, ribs are good. But think of a meal that's even better than ribs. And he thought about it and he went, 2 ribs. And I went, yeah. So these restaurants, they're pretentious as fuck, right? Every dish includes a foam, a reduction, and a mousse. And there's always a quail's egg and a truffle. Always with a quail's egg. Why can't they use a fucking chicken egg? Every time I go to the supermarket, I always go to the poultry, and I never like, oh, quail or chicken, what will we eat tonight? Where the fuck are they buying all the quail's eggs? And come to think of it, I'm not sure if I've ever seen a quail. I've never been out and gone, oh, fuck me, the quails are out tonight. Better get the car in the garage, don't want it covered in quail shit, fucking quails. So it's always a reduction of mousse and a foam next to a quail's egg with a truffle on top. And the first course is always called the amuse-bouche. The amuse-bouche is never on the menu. And what this is in fancy food is you eat that, and that's meant to make you realise what the rest of the meal might be like. It's to make you go, ooh, we're eating. I get what's going on. This is a small portion of bigger things. It's like if before you came to the show, you all went to a smaller comedy club tonight and watched someone do a 5-minute set. So you could go, oh, I get what Jim's gonna do. And there's always some French cunt who's the waiter. I can say this on Netflix, the French are a bunch of cunts. I'm not sure if you're even watching it on your French Netflix. Anyway, so there's always a French fuck. He walks out and the first course is always served on like a ceramic white spoon with the reduction, the mousse and the foam and the quail's egg and something on top. And he walks up to you and he's very patronising and he goes, okay, now it's time for the amuse-bouche. And then he goes, this chef has prepared this for you. And you always nod along like, oh, it's good. When you really should just be an arsehole to him and just go, the chef, you say? Did you hear that, honey? The chef's doing the cooking today. I thought the busboy had just fucking stepped it up a gear, but fuck me. I think we're in for a treat. And then he has the audacity to tell you how to eat it. He goes, the chef recommends that you put this spoon in your mouth and you eat it all in one bite and let the quail's egg explode over the foam, the mousse and the reduction, and then you swallow. When you should really go, thank fuck you came along, cunt. I wouldn't have known what to do. A spoon, you say? A spoon? I would have... Cosby. Now, I don't know if you get all the news here in Nashville. but I may say something that's very upsetting to many of you. It turns out that Bill Cosby is a rapist. I know. I always used to watch him on the telly as a kid, and I always used to think to myself, I bet he doesn't rape. But I've been wrong before, and I'll be wrong again, because it turns out that his favourite thing is rape. He fucking loves raping people. Now, think about your favourite thing. You might be into sports, gardening, golf. I don't know what the fuck you're into. Now, think about it. Now, replace it with rape. And that's how Bill Cosby feels all day, every day. Now, I did this routine in Australia, and they wrote a very horrible review of the show. And I hate that people forget that I'm a comedian and that I'm joking. But I have to do this little public service announcement before I do this routine. I believe in many ways rape is wrong. I believe when possible you should always avoid raping people. If you leave the show this evening and you're thinking about raping someone, Jefferies says no. But Bill Cosby wouldn't listen to me, would he? Fuck! Because he fucking loves raping. 60 women have come forward. 60 women. It's a big number, isn't it? 60. Actually, a little bit too big. The real number's 52. But I can say what I want up here, so I just rounded it up to 60. Who gives a fuck, right? Plus, I'm of the opinion, after you rape 20, same prison time, keep raping, I say. So, 70 women have come forward, right? Now, what happened is your Whoopi Goldbergs of this world, when the accusations first came out, they were all like, oh, I don't know if I believe all these women. They're just trying to ruin his legacy or some bullshit like that. Because all these rapes happened in the 70s and the 80s. And they said, what took these women so long to come forward? It's a good question. I think it's because, as rapes go, they weren't the worst rapes now, were they? He never held them down and fucking raped them. He used to drug them and finger them a bit. And I've had worse Christmases with uncles. What I'm trying to say is this. If I was ever going to be raped, I'd like to be raped by Bill Cosby. Because I've been such a big fan of his for so many years. And, you know, it'd just be wonderful to meet him. You know, how else would I get to meet him, you know? Of course, you know, we're in the same business, you know. Comedy. I don't really get back to Australia that much anymore. I'm going back in like a couple of weeks for the first time in ages. And every time I go back there, I always go see my family doctor, because this is a doctor I've had my whole life. I really trust this guy. And my doctor in London's he's no good. And last time I was out there, I got a physical checkup done. He's doing my blood pressure, the guy in Australia, and he's like, Jim, your blood pressure's really high, mate. You're going to have to go on medication. And I went, I don't want to go on medication. And he went, well, you have to, because that's how doctors in Australia talk. And then he goes, I'll cut you a deal. Go back to London, get your blood pressure checked again, but if you get the same readout or higher, you're on medication, right? So I go back to my doctor in London, get my blood pressure checked again, get exactly the same readout that I got in Australia, and my doctor goes, oh, you're good. And I went, what? The doctor in Australia said that was too high. And he went, Australians with their salads and sport. Their standards are too high. By British standards, you're good. So I'm an unhealthy Australian, but I'm a healthy British person. I think as my health gets worse, I'm going to move to shittier countries until eventually I'm the healthiest man in Rwanda. Do you think pandas know they're Chinese and they're taking the one-child policy too serious? Ever ask a non-drinker why they don't drink? Same answer every time. You go, why don't you drink? And they go, I don't like the taste of it. Nobody does! No one likes the taste of it. We drink because we have to. No one has ever had a shot of tequila and gone, oh, that's lovely. Next time I'll have that instead of pudding. It's so Moorish. Smoking's a weird one, man. Smoking's like... I appreciate with smoking that you can't smoke indoors anymore. I think that's the right law. I think if people are working there, you can't smoke in front of them. I think it's fair enough. And it's the same law all across the world. But in Australia now, prostitution is legal. But you can't smoke in front of the hooker. Because this might be detrimental to her health. Is this really the worst thing that's happening to this woman's body on a day-to-day basis? If you pay her enough money, you can burn her. I'm not saying pour petrol on her and light her up. I'm saying heat up a bit of metal, leave a good mark, let people know you were there. Now, why I'm on the subject of burn victims? I wouldn't wish it upon my worst enemy. It's an awful thing to happen to anyone. But I do laugh whenever there's like a house fire or a car accident or something like that, and someone gets really badly burnt, and the newsreader will be like, they're alive, but they have been burnt beyond recognition. Burnt beyond recognition. You ever seen a burn victim? Most recognizable person in a room. The term should be burnt to recognition. Oh, no one has ever said this and never recorded anything like this. No one's ever said it in a public forum. But the pregnant are the worst people on earth. For some reason, society has told us that they have some type of glow or some shit. The pregnant are a bunch of cunts, the pregnant. They cry when they're happy, they cry when they're sad. You don't know what fucking cry. And you ever tried